welcome back to the Catenaccio show. What a program that we have for all of you today. Derby d'Italia is over. Inter wins in Turin. Milan can beat Bologna. People, your team got it done, and Napoli imposes itself on the road 3-1 against Atalanta. Hello and welcome. I'm Antonio Aquilino. We have Lodovico, Fred, Pippo, and Luca here today to analyze everything that happened over the last 3 days, guys. There's so much to talk about. I don't know where to begin. The Derby d'Italia, fireworks from start to finish. A lot of controversy. Çalhanoğlu scores the game-winning penalty. And I'm going to start with our two Interisti here on the show, Lodovico and Fred. Lodo, we're going to start with you. What do you think of Inter's performance, and are they now favorites to win the Scudetto?
Okay, I'm gonna say it. We always were the favorites. We just played bad for the first month and a half. We started wrong. Then we had like 3-4 months, and then we started playing bad since January. But I think it was an important game. I think it was an important win. I don't think we played good. We play actually. I think it was the worst game ever that we did under Simone Inzaghi. But hey, a win is a win. +3. Now we are -4, possibly -1 from the first place, and I honestly think it's good. It's good. Good weekend for me, obviously.
Overall. Fred, what did you see at the Allianz Stadium? Did Inter deserve the victory? And how did you live the game as a fan? Were you nervous? Were you confident? How were your last 24 hours?
Well, yesterday it was a really intense game. You know, there's a lot of there was a lot of going on. You know, a lot of decisions by the referee that could have been right or could have been wrong. Then we'll talk about it. But to be honest, I actually thought that Juventus was gonna win the game because it's been 10 years since yesterday. It has been 10 years that we haven't won at the Allianz Stadium since I believe 2012 when we had Cassano, Guarina, and Diego Milito. So you know how long ago it was.
With Stramaccioni on the bench.
Stramaccioni on the bench, you know, and we finished that season like 7th, I believe. But overall, it was a good game. I think it was the best game that Juventus ever played. I'm gonna be honest, because Juventus is not the way Allegri plays. Allegri, the way he plays, is not like that. You know, I was really surprised that Juventus got in the field and just went all of it, went all for it, all for the win since the first second. But it was a really good game. But I think Juventus deserved it more than.
And Allegri was asked about this mentality before the match, and he said that he decided the formation that he wanted to use against Inter last Monday. So he knew that he wanted to play with Morata, Vlahovic, and Dybala all from the start for like a week before the match. And Luca, I want to ask you, because you witnessed this game, you analyzed it over and over again as well after it's happened. Now you've had about 12, 24 hours to think about it. And what went wrong for Juventus? I mean, how were they able to not score with all the opportunities that they got against Inter?
I mean, the match is that kind of match that you try so much, and I mean, you know, there is that day that you are unlucky in the end. You know, when you have a total shoot of 22 times. You got 2 poles. I mean, also the opportunity that missed Chiellini at the beginning was right on the line. You know, so almost impossible to miss until that. Zaccaria. I mean, in Juve-Inter is always a match like super nervous, super. I don't know how many faults I saw yesterday. But I mean, Juventus plays super good. I think the best match of Juventus in this season. Also with Villarreal, I saw the same. The first 55 minutes, I saw the same Juventus against with Villarreal. but in the end, in the best two matches that Juventus play, both the match they lost. So this is a big example that is not enough that you play good, you have a good percentage of the possession or something like that. In the end, I mean, I if I see the Juventus in the first 3 years of Allegri always play like that. Honestly, when he has a team, I mean, when you play with some players, you don't have the team at 100%. It's not easy to have this mentality. Yesterday Juventus had almost, Quadrato, Morata, Dybala, and Vlahovic all together. So in the last month, the last 2 months, Juventus didn't have Zagaria, didn't have Dybala, so much players that make the difference.
Well, that is certainly a big miss for Juventus, and we're going to get involved in everything that happened with the referee in just a moment. But before we do that, I wanted to get people also involved. People, you do not root for any of these two teams, so you are the most neutral person here to analyze what happened, and you have watched the game over again. What did you make of the match, and who do you think deserved the win? And that's my first question to you. And then, how was the refereeing in your opinion? Was it a solid game by the referee, or did he make many mistakes?
So, in my opinion, Inter didn't deserve to win. I don't think Juventus deserved to win as well. I think a tie was, it was the fair result. But like Arrigo Sacchi said today or yesterday, I don't know when he talked, he said that it wasn't soccer. The show, the game was horrible. It was more a fight than a soccer game. It was horrible to watch, and that's unfortunately the level that we have in Italy. And those are the two best teams that we have in Italy. And see them play like that, it's just it makes me sad because it's just horrible. It wasn't a soccer game. And
there were a lot
honest,
of controversy. Yeah,
I don't agree with that. For me,
and it wasn't soccer. It wasn't soccer. Soccer is another sport. What they showed yesterday was to team that's not soccer. That's a fight. It was just like fight on fight on fight. It was just horrible. To me, but even when you see big games in Premier League or Liga, they still play soccer.
Yesterday I saw the interview of Allegri. For me, is the same things I say last time after we lost with Macedonia. We have to stop to watch the other leagues. He say you have to stop. For that reason we lost with Macedonia. Because
it's not soccer.
We are in Spain. We don't have technical people like.
There's a reason why we are watching the other leagues, because the other leagues are way better than Serie A. Even Ligue 1 is about to be better than us. Like, to be honest, because for example,
bold statement by Fred.
I wanna talk about, for example, the penalty on Dumfries. I think it was penalty because, like Morata stepped on his foot and then Alexandro came from behind. But if you think about it, if you look at the Premier League, they will never call it.
They never call that penalty.
It's because in Italy, because in Serie A, the minimum of the contact for them, for the referee, for everybody, it's a foul.
No, that's true. The point that he is saying, Fred, is that it's super true, because in Italy, that he gonna destroy completely the game we have in the end, because every 1 minute, every 30 seconds there is a small fall and gonna interrupt the game
Yeah. And Luca, I wanted to ask you immediately, because we saw how the match began. Right away the intensity was very high, and Lautaro
was
his first foul on Locatelli, only a yellow card, and then this foul on Giorgio Chiellini. The players were asking for a second yellow card, but it was not given. And I wanted to ask you, Luca, and also Lodo, these two plays, did Lautaro deserve to be red carded? What do you guys think?
Yeah, this is I always watch one thing. So it depends how the referee let's say the balance he has during the match is important. No, if you're gonna give a yellow card for a big fall, you know, if you leave play, it depends. No, so if I see uh, how he managed the game, I mean, this is a two yellow card, 100%. The same for Rabiot. Rabiot deserves to have two yellow card, but there are one point that Lautaro they he called two fouls, so he could give two yellow cards. On Rabiot, he didn't call the second fouls, so it was false for me and the yellow card. That's my opinion. But he didn't call the fouls, and Inter keep playing. So he couldn't give a yellow card if you don't call a false. So in this case, is a red card. At 22 minutes, Inter had to play in 10. It's completely another match.
That would change everything, no? Fred, what do you think? Do you think Lautaro should have been red carded, or no? You think that was the right
No.
decision by the ref?
It was the right decision by the referee because I think, first of all, again, as Lucas said, it depends on the judgment on the referee here. Okay, how he's gonna conduct the game and all that. But to be honest, I would understand if they will be like, oh yeah, it's a red card if Lautaro would have gone on Chiellini with the cleats up. I would understand that because it happened, like for example, with Sanchez against Liverpool. But I think is if you actually watch the game live, because if you look at the image, you're gonna think, oh yeah, it's foul, you know. But if you actually watch the game live, you see that Lautaro went in. You cannot take off the foot. Both of them went for the ball. It's a 50-50 basically.
I agree with
That's why I don't think
second
I
one,
don't
It was on late. It was on late. Lautaro was late.
But
No, he went with the flat foot. He went with the
He
flat
went
foot.
with
That
the
wasn't a
flat
yellow. It
foot.
was foul, but not a yellow.
he cannot take off he cannot take it off at that moment.
Yeah,
cannot
when you're
The
running, when
point,
you're
if
like,
I see the yellow card he gave, if you see the yellow card he gave yesterday, the first of Rabiot in Premier League, I don't know if he even a false. He gave a false plus yellow card. If I see that yellow card, that is a yellow card. The first
But
yellow card that Rabiot get is in Premier League. It doesn't exist a yellow card for that.
Yeah, yesterday the referee showed the yellow card eight, 9 times. It was a very, very physical match, and it almost felt like he lost control of the match throughout it. Lodovico, I want to get you involved here because you were listening to Fred and you were listening to Luca, and I want to get involved also with the next play that we're going to talk about, the penalty that was called on Alvaro Morata when he brought down Dumfries in the Juventus box. We're going to take a look at the image in just a second. But Lodovico, do you think that was a penalty? And then do you think the penalty should have been retaken afterwards?
Oh, you're giving me the best question. I mean, no, I think the penalty again. If you see the entire game, um, and the way that the physicality got involved into it, and then you see how the game continue after that. I
This
honestly
is
think
the image.
I
This is
think
the image
I
right
think the
here.
penalty, like it's okay to give it at that point. But if it should have been retaken or not, I still have to understand why. Like
This is the picture that we were able to find. It
why? It's
was
inside the area.
right
What
in
do you mean
front.
why?
no, the thing
Yeah.
is that when Chalanoglu shot the ball, the referee actually called a foul on some guy. Like they probably called it on Chalanoglu because he
Chesney
thought he was involved into
Chesney or
the
Danilo.
yeah, he was involved into the action, but at the end of the day, it was like all the Juventus player that just went on top of each other and then just clash into it, and then it was just a confusion. It was like a own goal. But I honestly think like Inter could have been like easily taken away like a goal. It could have been like a 0-0 if Chalanoglu would have just missed another time the penalty and he actually put it on the same side. I honestly think at the end of the day, like 1-0, 1-0, the penalty, if it was gonna be retaken or not, the match should have stayed 1-0 for Inter at that point of the game. If there is like more other actions that happen after, but I think the decision to the penalty and it was okay to retake it. I still don't understand why the guy called a foul, but then he was called from the VAR that the lead will actually enter first. So, I think 1-0 either way it would have been.
But Luca, don't we see this happen every weekend? Like we saw this happen also in Juventus Roma earlier in the season when Roma missed a penalty. Everyone was in the box, but it was not made to be retaken. So why did the referee decide to enforce this call now? Was it to cover up the mistake that he made to call that foul, which was a very confusing play when the own goal happened? What do you think of this?
For me, this year, I think that never like this year I saw so many mistakes by the referees, because but in every match it's not just this is a big match, and of course we see more things because it's a big match. When there is Salernitana against Venezia, nobody speak. But if you check something like that, you can find a lot of mistakes by the referee, and I mean, this is he called false, because I mean he was he saw with his eyes in that moment. He could be, honestly. But from the VAR you cannot see that. I mean, there is no faults on Danilo. But in the end, I mean, the worst things is that the leak is right in front of the referee. He had to stop before then Çalhanoğlu shoot the penalty, honestly, because he passed in front of the referee without call the VAR. You could see that he's right in front of 1 meter, and you didn't see, so you had to stop in that moment. It's happened many times in soccer that they stop.
And this is what you were talking about, right in front of the referee.
There is a rule though, like if the league wasn't involved after, then the penalty. It doesn't matter if you're in the area. It happened with what's his name in Torino. Who Torino played?
The people that technically is Danilo that touched the ball, and then the ball go to the league.
Yeah, but because
But
that's
the
the
league
thing,
was
it was
involved.
involved.
The league
If
was
it
in
wasn't
the
involved,
middle of that.
Doesn't touch the
It
ball.
like happened in
Danilo
the
is
Torino.
not.
Torino against who Torino played this weekend?
Yeah, but it's okay, people. We
People, you
understand.
should do more research.
We understand.
But it's the same. Like no, the issue was like the league wasn't involved. It wasn't like if the league wasn't involved, then was they didn't have to retake the penalty. So that was just like the reason to retake the penalty. So it was a good decision, a good call by the ref.
You're right, Simon.
In the end, he shoot again. He score. And then in the end, it becomes the worst episode. But in the end, it's not the worst episode for me.
But it decides the game, because that's the goal that ultimately
For me,
decides the match.
it didn't decide the game. I mean, it was penalty. It's right. He scored. It's 1-0. If he scored before, it was 1-0 too. So the worst thing is that is crazy is the penalty that he didn't give to Zakaria. For me,
And we're gonna get into that now. I wanted to ask you, Luca, what do you think of the episode, and how was this not called if the images are so clear, and the VAR room, they have the same images that we are seeing now? So what is your explanation? Why wasn't this called? Because from this picture you can clearly see that Zacarias's boot is the blue one, and Bastoni has the orange boot, and it looks to be clearly on the line. Why do you think this wasn't given, Luca?
I mean, this is if you watch the ball is out of the area. So, but this is a huge mistake. There is nothing to say, because the referee called false. That's the first things. It wasn't the VAR that called the false. So it's false, and but the VAR is like if you call a offside, the VAR doesn't know if it's offside or not. They say they didn't have the right picture to say something like that. It's impossible. If we have the same picture, they have better. All right. So
They should.
They should. 2 weeks ago, it's happened the same with Torino. With Belotti, it was a penalty, unbelievable penalty for Torino, and they say he touched the ball. He never touched the ball. I mean, Inter was lucky in the last two matches,
But Fred and Lod, I want to ask you guys this question, because it happened against Torino, and it was very clearly a mistake, and now it looks like it's happened again. So is this a good stretch of luck for Inter?
We have the power.
Is this Simone Inzaghi talking his players into being more aggressive because the game is being called in a more physical way? why is Inter getting these calls? And do you guys agree with Luca that that was a penalty?
I mean, I gotta be objective. Uh, in live, I was the first one to say it wasn't, because it's different from an image to actually watching the game, and you can see it when you see the replay that Bastoni continues the movement. It goes towards the outside of the area. So, okay, there the referee is there watching it. He probably thought that. Then wouldn't I don't think we're ever gonna know what they actually talked about, like in the headphones, and what they actually saw, because I heard that the VAR room, they have all the way different images that we have, or different angles of cameras that we see.
They also
It's
have
crazy.
people.
It's
They have
crazy.
people in the VR room.
They should be better. They should be better. They should be better, of course. But I don't understand if we have that image, then why they didn't call it? Why?
And Lodo, I'm seeing a big
I don't understand.
smile on your
But I
face
gotta be honest.
while
I
Fred
gotta
is
be honest.
talking about this. What do you think?
I
But
honestly
I gotta,
think
gotta
it
be
was
honest.
luck.
I gotta be honest though, because finally is the time that a little bit of luck is on our side. Because there have been so many games throughout the history, the freaking history, that Juventus stole so many games from Inter, especially a long time ago when we had Ronaldo the Fenomeno. That with that game, if we would have won that game, we would have won the championship, for example. Or when
And that contact with Giuliano, with Mark Giuliano, no?
exactly, and then they gave the penalty to Juventus right after.
But that was like a
Finally,
different story
it's
over
called
there.
We
it's
are
called
speaking
karma.
about it was the Vieira, so the VAR.
That was like
It's
Juventus still were
completely
paying
different.
the referee. It was a different story back
Yeah, yeah,
then.
yeah. There is many things in. It's too long story, but the point here you have the VAR, and it's like you don't see a offside in 2022 is ridiculous.
Paying the ref. Hey, we don't pay the ref. We don't pay the ref. Trust me, that's Juventus.
I mean,
No,
The whole mafia around.
is no. I don't believe you pay someone. I believe that this is the worst referees we have in the history is this year, because I see every match. Also, when I watch wherever Venezia, I see always the same things. It's just because it's not big match, and people don't speak about it. But
honestly, I think it's a problem with our refs. It's like there's some technicalities that it seems like some of the refs don't even know the rules when
And
Mazzoleni,
you have
people,
to apply them.
Mazzoleni
I
in
want,
the VAR. I already said before the match. I said Mazzoleni is in the VAR room. That's it. Mazzoleni cannot stay
and
in the VAR room. That's it.
I want to get people involved in this discussion with the referees, because earlier on in the past years, Italy was known to have the best referees in the world. And with the advancement of VAR and the inclusion of VAR, these mistakes have just been multiplying game after game, and you cannot explain them, because the foul that was not given and the penalty that was not given to Torino with the foul on Belotti, and what happened to Zacarias, these are big mistakes in big games that can decide the title. And I want to ask people, I mean, what is going on with the referees in Italy, and what has to be done to help improve their routines and how they work, so these mistakes don't happen anymore?
I mean, I agree that, like Luca said, that recently our ref is just like they've been horrible. Like you said, we had in the past we had really good refs, and I feel like I don't think they're bad. I feel like they just feel the pressure of the game. They have no idea how to handle the pressure, and like they're afraid to go against Inter, or they're to go against the Juventus when there is like those big decisions to make. But I don't know. To be honest, I feel like the refs are going down with the Italian system. Just like everything in Italy is just going wrong in the soccer industry, and I don't know how to fix it. Like, I'm not a ref, but it's just like I feel like it's the pressure that they feel from the game. That's why, like, Inter is playing to win the Scudetto, and they give the penalty to Zaccaria. It's 1-1, and Milan basically is
We're playing to qualify for the Champions League. Like our friend Luca, that is not here today. Like Milan is first, tied with Bologna, just to get the fourth place. Champions League. That's what we're all doing here.
But
And
it's just like go ahead.
speaking of Milan, they were they were busy today, and we're missing Luca to talk about this now. But Bologna, they go to San Siro and they keep a clean sheet. They do not allow the likes of Giroud, Leao, Brahim Diaz to get a single goal on them, and they snatch a single point from Milan. And Pippa, I'm gonna get right back to you because this is your Bologna going on the road and playing such an inspired game for Sinisa Mihailovic, who was not on the bench because we know he's fighting cancer. What did you think of the match? And did Bologna deserve more? Because they had really good opportunities to even score.
I don't think we deserve more. I think the tie was fair because first half we dominated, second half we defended like Catenaccio. It was like just like it was true. It's like a game of heart. It was we the first half like you said we had three clear chances. In those games you need to score, you need to put them in. But then the second half was just like completely 45 minutes of Milan, and we defended well. We were organized, and like I said the last podcast, the guys they took the
motivation.
The motivation from Sinisa, from what's going on around him, and they put their heart out, and we got 1 point, which is important.
It's funny how the Milan every time they tie games against, like, I'm not saying that Bologna is a small team, but
be careful.
Against teams that are like on the right side of the table. That's right. No, but for real.
No, it's true. It's true.
Against La Spezia, Bologna today, Salernitana. They lose a lot. They're losing a lot of points, and those points are gonna be so important to the Scudetto.
They're trying to qualify for the Champions League, guys. The Champions League.
But against the big teams, they win. Against the big teams.
Let's get into another discussion because Napoli also won, and Napoli went on the road to win against Atalanta, and we have a special guest that is joining us, a big Napoli supporter, Renato Smith. Welcome to the show, Renato.
Good evening, guys. Good evening. First of all, I want to
right away.
First of all, I want to congratulate to my friend Filippo for that tie today against Milan. You guys played very well today. You deserve the tie, and I'm very happy that there are still people in this world that are fans from the team of their own city, like me. I was a Napoli supporter when we were in third league. I was in the stadium every single game, and I feel like if there are no supporters that support their own city, then football wouldn't be the same as it is now. We should have more people like us, like we have in the UK, that they support no matter in what division they are, in what league.
Okay, but we have to talk about Napoli, Renato.
I'm sorry. So Napoli, I think they were very cynical today. Yesterday, they're usually not that cynical, but we created very few occasions, and we were able to make to play very well and make goals on the few occasions that we had. So I'm very happy about how Napoli played the last game against Atalanta, which is always a tough field where to play.
Great game by Insigne, by the way.
Oh yeah, Insigne played well. As you guys know, he's gonna leave he's gonna leave Napoli next year, but he's trying to do his best to win something. Even though I don't believe we're gonna be able to win.
But Renato, I want to ask you right away. Because Insigne, he can leave a mark before leaving to Toronto. Do you think that this Napoli team can win Serie A? Do you think this can happen? Do you think they can get above Inter and Milan and bring home the title?
To be honest, I see the Serie A this year as not as good as the other years. Napoli is not playing as good as we used to play with Sarri. That's when I really believe we could win the Scudetto. Now, I'm not sure because we have game where we play really well, and then we have game where we are completely lost, as we had the game with Milan, where we didn't create any occasion. I was actually very surprised and impressed by the last game that we played against Atalanta. But we should definitely play more game as we played the last one. If we keep playing this way as we played the last game, then we have chances to win the Scudetto. But if we
Luca then. Luca, do you think Napoli can win the Scudetto? Do you think that they have what it takes to finish above Inter and Milan?
I mean, the three teams there are definitely the favorite. I mean, they are all together in few points. Inter has another match to do against Bologna, and definitely can go very close. I mean, Inter for me is still the favorite, like I always say. Uh, but I mean, this is a very strange season, because today Milan had a big opportunity for me to do 3 points more. Napoli has the chance. Has a good team. He played good with Spalletti. Yesterday he was very smart because Napoli were playing in Bergamo. That is not easy. It's not easy with the supporters. And I mean, he did Spalletti did a very smart match. Didn't have possession. He didn't shoot so much, but he was very, five times, five opportunity through 3 goals. So he was very. I mean, he deserved to win, and he was smarter than Atalanta. That I see Atalanta in a big prize for me.
Yeah, the team was very cynical. Yes, on Saturday, I was actually very impressed, but unfortunately, it doesn't happen every week. That's the issue. We're missing.
I see Napoli. I see
missing.
Yeah. We're definitely
Napoli is
missing
my favorite for
consistency.
the. Napoli is my favorite for the Scudetto, in my opinion.
People, you think Napoli can win the Scudetto? You have them finishing first.
I feel like I have a feeling that they're the one with the most chances, in my opinion.
I don't know.
Inter is
What do you
not doing
think?
well. Milan is not. Milan sucks, unfortunately. I don't even know why they're there. I mean, no, come on, guys. If you look at the team, if you look at the players of Milan besides Ibrahimovic and Leao, just like
these are the life standings.
They have Salamakers, bro.
These are the life
It's
just
standings,
like-
okay?
It's an important guy.
Tony, when was the last time an Italian, Southern Italian team won the Scudetto? What was the year? Like 2001 with Rome?
That was indeed the last team from the south to win Serie A.
Is
was
Rome considered
Francesco
South,
Totti.
guys? I mean, I know for Fred that's from Milan, it's considered South. But I mean,
Milan and Napoli. Milan
And
and
look out
Napoli,
for
they have
Roma,
top
eh?
game.
Look out for Roma because Roma are now 5 points away from Juventus for that final Champions League spot. And I want to ask you guys, can Juventus hold on to this spot, and how important is it? Because we know that we have some doubts about this Juventus team. They've really picked it up since signing Vlahovic, but as of late, we've seen they had a hard time scoring against Villarreal. They were not able to score against Inter. They now have to get back. They have to get back to their winning ways because Roma, they're playing well with Mourinho. What do you think, Fred?
Well, to be honest, I think that Juventus is not going to lose that spot. It's not going to let that happen. And a big team like Juventus should be in the Champions League, and not Roma, because I feel like Roma.
Roma.
It's gonna hurt Emma. It's gonna hurt Emma a lot if you say this sentence, my friend.
But you gotta be honest. I gotta be honest, because if Roma doesn't start to buy players in the summer, start to invest in the team, they're gonna keep going to Europe and play and lose 6-1, 7-1 like every single time that happens, and get the.
We are in this position when we send teams like Sampdoria or Udinese.
But Napoli plays well in Champions League when they go.
What?
Napoli plays well in Champions
We're
League.
not talking about Napoli.
Napoli invests. I mean, De Laurentiis. I mean, he create a big project in the end. When he started with Cavani, Lavezzi, he started to bring height level players. I mean, Udinese were going to play with people that they can even play in Serie B. So when you start to do something like that, I saw people playing Champions League from Udinese and Sampdoria. That's, I don't know, it never happened in their career, something like that.
I mean, they had Sanchez and Di Natale.
What?
They had Sanchez and Di Natale.
Yeah, and in the defense they had Pippo, and on the right wing they have Fred as well. So like it's that.
Renato, last question before we we say bye to you. Who do you have finishing in the top four? Do you think Juventus holds on to that spot, or do you think Roma can overtake the Bianconeri?
Looking at the calendar of the two teams, I think Juventus has way higher chance to finish in the top four as they have 5 points more than Roma, and also Roma still has to play against a quite few amount of good teams. I think they have to play against. I don't know if you can look for me the Roma calendar, but they have to play against Napoli, against Inter, and I think they have to play against another tough team. Not sure. I don't really remember the
Fiorentina,
whole
I think they still
calendar.
have to play.
Yeah, but Roma has to play in Napoli also. He doesn't play in Roma.
If you look at the statistic, Roma doesn't have that many points against the big teams.
I mean, it has to play with Napoli in Napoli and with Inter in Milan.
Look, this is the schedule. This is the schedule. They have to go to Norway.
Big match, Bodo Glimt.
And they lost 6 goals they gave up the last time they went up to Norway. Then they play Salernitana. That is a good opportunity to get 3 points. Then it becomes very hard. They have to go to Napoli. They have to go to San Siro. They have to play Bologna. We saw how difficult Bologna can be, even when they are on the road. And then they finish with Fiorentina, Venezia, and the last match against Torino.
And
the toughest calendar, I think.
There is also one point that Roma, if you put it in the calendar of Roma, you can see that they have to play in Conference League, and after 4 days they have to play with Napoli. Only 4 days. Napoli has
on the road
prepared the match, and I mean they are fighting for the title. I mean they're gonna prepare the match very well. So against Roma, Roma, whoever is, I like Roma. I like the team they have. They have a really good players. Like Abram is a good player. They Militrayan. They have good players, but in the end they have only 11 players, and they have to play in the Conference League and in Serie A with the same players. So it can be tough.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Mourinho this time, he's a smart man. He's not gonna underestimate Bogo again, and he's gonna try to win on the first round in Norway easily, so he can be in playing the second game in Rome, the second fixture, and actually play with or maybe some subs in order then to have some fresh players for the Napoli game. We saw that Pellegrini he's not gonna play against Salernitana because he wants to play the Napoli game, and he was how do you say ammonito, he was
booked. He was booked.
Yeah, he was booked, so he got another yellow card on the last game. So they're definitely thinking about the Napoli game. Hopefully they're not gonna underestimate Salernitana because they're still fighting for a relegation zone.
Okay, thank you, Renato, for joining us and talking about Napoli and much more.
I also want to congratulate Inter for the great victory against Juventus. It's gonna be a very equal fight between us. I wish you guys the best, even though obviously I wish to win. Good luck, guys, for the rest.
Okay, thank you, Renato.
Bye. Have a good one, guys. Ciao.
Ciao.
Mamma mia.
So that is going to be a very tight race at the top, and Napoli, everyone was forgetting about them. We were concentrating on Inter and Milan, but Napoli, slowly but surely, they've been getting points. And look at the table. It's amazing how they are still there. And Luciano Spalletti, who has never won a Scudetto, guys, in Serie A, can finally do it. Pioli also never won, and Simone Inzaghi never won. These are 3 managers that don't have that experience when it comes to this end of the season phase in a Serie A. And who do you think has the advantage between the 3 managers? They have a lot of experience. Simone Inzaghi a little less, but who do you think ultimately has the advantage on the bench? Fred, we'll start with you.
Inzaghi, because Inter is the favorite for it. Inter is the favorite for it, and on the paper, Inter has the best team in the league on the paper.
Yeah, technically they have so Inter has the best players. If I have to check the players 1-to-1, in this moment, it depends a lot of the calendar for me, and Inter has the best calendar for me. And Napoli and Milan, they don't have a good calendar. Uh, I like that Milan. If they're gonna win, yeah, I'm very happy for Maldini because he's working a lot. He's doing good, like to manage Milan from. I mean, he took from a bad situation. Milan, he was in a horrible situation. He's doing good. He doesn't care about the players like Kessie and Donnarumma. They want to give. They have a budget. They say, listen, this is the million they're gonna offer. If you want to stay in Milan, you're gonna stay in Milan. I like the position he's taking. And he maybe they are not the favorite, but they are there in the end. So it can be interesting in the last part of the season.
Filippo, what do you think? Who has the advantage on the bench between Milan, Inter, and Napoli?
On the bench, I feel like Spalletti. He's already been in the fight. He's already been like big teams. Inzaghi was always a Lazio, never had it was never in the in the run for a Scudetto, and Pioli always been like in small teams. I feel like Spalletti also if between the three is the one that plays the better soccer. So like you said, nobody was paying attention to Napoli, and while Milan and Inter were losing points, Napoli kept playing and playing and playing and winning games, and now they're there. I mean, they even I feel like I said before, Napoli. I feel like the favorite at the moment.
I feel like they're gonna choke at some point, like they did last season.
Could be. The calendar, like Luca said, the calendar it plays a big role right now. The calendar and the experience from the players.
It's important now. It's important calendar.
Even the experience, from the player. I mean, Inter has more experience. He already won it. He has better players, but they're struggling.
I honestly think we are gonna win. Easy.
And why
Thank you for this is the calendar for Napoli. This is what they have to look forward to at home against Fiorentina, then at home against Roma, and then Empoli on the road. That is not easy. Sassuolo, Torino, Genoa, and Spezia. The last three matches, they have two of them are on the road. But they are matches that they have the quality to win. I think these are going to be the most difficult ones against Fiorentina and against Roma. But they are at the Armando
Maradona and Torino, and that's it for me. The rest easy match for me for Napoli.
Plus, actually, also depends on like how Genoa and Spezia gets to the last two games. Because if they're mathematically out, then they're gonna play for the team spirit, but they're automatically out. So it all depends how the standings evolve.
Do not underestimate Torino when they play at home. They're a really good team. I gotta be honest with Juric. They play a really good soccer, and they're a team that makes you play really, really bad. To be honest.
And here we're gonna take a look at the calendar of Inter.
The easiest.
Allegri said after the match that Inter are Scudetto favorites because they have the easiest calendar, and this is what he was talking about. They have Verona, the San Siro, then they travel to Spezia, the Coppa Italia, which is going to be very intense in the derby. Then they have to play against Roma. Then we have Bologna on the road. That match is finally going to be played, people. Then Udinese, Inter, Empoli, Cagliari, and Sampdoria.
For me, Inter is a super easy calendar, and the only match that can be maybe it can be strange is the match against Roma, but only because so for me Inter can beat Roma easy. The point is they have to play with Milan 3 days before. They're only just that.
Yeah.
That could be tricky, but Mourinho has been doing a very good job with Roma as of late. They're playing very well, so I wouldn't be surprised if Mourinho goes back to San Siro and plays his old side, a little trick before they can celebrate a Scudetto. That's going to be a very delicate match. And here's the schedule for Milan. They play against Torino on the road. That is never easy. Then they have Genoa, the derby in Coppa Italia, and then this is a big game, like away at the Olimpico against Lazio. And then at Bentigodi against Verona, and then this is a very important game, Milan-Atalanta. They played towards the end of the season last year, and you can remember there was a lot of controversy in that game for third place or second place, and Atalanta was forced to go through the playoffs to get to the Champions League, and there was a lot of tension in that match, and I expect to be a very tense game when they meet again. But Atalanta, they've been falling off a little bit, eh? They were disappointing against Napoli, giving up 3 goals like that, and they have those problems up front with Zapata and Muriel who are not in shape. And
the day that everybody were focused about Atalanta and Milan, and and Juventus, it was important for Juventus to get in the first in the best 4. And I remember everybody were focused on Atalanta and Milan, and nobody thinks about Napoli. They were playing in San Paolo against Verona. Verona didn't need to win or something like that. It was unbelievable. Juventus surpassed in the last day in Napoli and getting in Champions League.
So I wanted to ask you guys, after Milan draws today, that was a very, very big misstep against Bologna, because 3 points today could have been very important for Pioli and the Rossoneri and their title race. Do you guys change your mind when thinking about who's going to win it? Because we know that the 2 Interisti are very confident in their side in winning the Scudetto. Fred and Lodo, you guys have Inter winning this title, right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I gotta say congratulations to Milan for winning the Scudetto as well.
What about people, Filippo? Who do you have?
On paper, we're the favorite, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, I already said it. Napoli is the favorite for me. Milan, like I said before, I don't think he has a player. Like on paper, he has like maybe 1 or 2 top players. The rest is just like player for like half standing, like middle standing. They're not like great players, and I never expected Milan to be up top. They created something good within them, like a great group, a great like atmosphere. But I don't see Milan at the top.
I mean, honestly,
I see Milan 3. I see Milan 3rd.
3rd place. Wow.
I see
Napoli, Inter, and Milan.
For me, if Juventus had the team, or at least Allegri since 2 years, so because Pioli is already 2 years, Oli Spalletti is the first year in Napoli, but I mean Napoli has always the same players since already like 2 years. Inter with Conte, let's say that's Simone Inzaghi play with the same way than Conte, same system, so 3-5-2. So Inter has more, is already done. They know each other. But for me, the Serie A this year is very low level, and it's probably Juventus had the Cristiano Ronaldo since the beginning of the season. No, he didn't left. Probably Juventus it was fighting for the Scudetto.
You think if Juventus had Cristiano this season, they would have been first?
I mean, if I look the number of Cristiano last year, at the half of the season, he already made like 16 goals, and Juventus this year, the first part of the year, what he missed the goals, because Juventus had only Morata. That we see Morata playing on the left is another player, and he's not a number 9 to score and to, he's not Cristiano Ronaldo anyway, and he's not Vlahovic.
But Juventus had Cristiano last season, and they could only finish 4th, and that was like in the last game when Napoli lost against Verona.
Yeah. No, but I mean, Juventus had Pirlo, and they had also a different team. I mean, you can see.
This team better? This team is better than last year for Juve?
Yeah, for me it's better. It's better. So I mean, and also the mentality. The Allegri is rebuilding the mentality in the end. At the beginning of the season, he was shocked. There is the second match when Allegri turned to Chiellini and say, "This is the same player that I used to train." I mean, this is not the same. That he's rebuilding, and I think next year it will be different.
Yeah, that's me every Wednesday when I play with Fred.
So, guys, looking forward at what's coming up this week. We will be back on a Thursday in Italian to talk about what happened in the Champions League midweek. There are some very big games, and we're going to take a look at the schedule in just 1 second. But one of the early, really favorites in the competition, PSG eliminated by Real Madrid, who are now going to have to get ready to face off against Chelsea. And before we get into the calendar, I wanted to go around to listen to you guys. What matchup intrigues you the most in this round of play?
Manchester City, Atletico Madrid tomorrow for me will be the best game of the week. So I mean, it will be in Manchester. I expect Simeone. Simeone is hard. Simeone is very hard, and is the opposite of the way that Guardiola plays. So it will be interesting. You know, we're gonna see. I mean, I saw the interview of Guardiola. They say that everybody speak about Simeone is a coach that he you know, his goal is to defend better. You know, he's always in the back, but in the end, it's just a different way to play, and it works. You know, because he brought Atletico Madrid from you know, how many years he's training Atletico Madrid. He's always there. He's always in the quarterfinal. He's always in the best 8. So it's a system that he works, especially in Champions League, because he arrived two time in final with a team that he wasn't the favorite. Never he was the favorite. He arrived there. I mean, he lost in the penalties with the Real Madrid, with the best Real Madrid. So, I mean, tomorrow it will be very interesting. If Guardiola fail this time on the quarterfinal, for me, is a big fail, honestly, for Guardiola.
For me, I believe Real Madrid Chelsea is going to be really interesting because if you guys remember last year, Chelsea passed. Chelsea won, I believe, 2-0, and then they tied 1-1 and they passed, and then surprisingly they won the Champions League. I was really shocked, to be honest.
With Christian Pulisic scoring, I remember at Alfredo Di Stefano, because Real Madrid was not playing at the Bernabeu last year.
Mm-hmm. No,
so that could be a little bit different this season, because the Bernabeu when it's full, it can be very intimidating for opponents.
And Benzema is on fire. You guys saw against PSG, Benzema, like out of nowhere, he scored a hat trick against a team like PSG. That was really a big surprise. And then now they have Ancelotti in the bench, so that changes a lot.
My prediction for me is that Liverpool pass, Atletico pass, Bayern Monaco pass, and Real Madrid pass.
Oh, so you have Manchester City being eliminated.
For me, it can be eliminated.
Ooh, that's a bold statement.
We're going to remember that for next time. So, Lodo, I was going to ask you, what matchup intrigues you the most?
Bayern Monaco Villarreal, just to see how many goal Bayern Monaco will score on Villarreal.
Lewandowski will score.
I want to see. Actually, I think I go with I like a little bit both what Luca said, Manchester City, Atletico Madrid, but I also think Chelsea, Real Madrid would be a nice revenge for Real Madrid, especially this year that they have Ancelotti, and Ancelotti kind of changed the dynamism of the team. He plays into the counter attack with Vinicius Junior, that this year is having an amazing season. So I honestly think those two are my tickets to watch. And then, Bayern Monaco will always gonna get there to the semifinals. Like,
you don't think that Villarreal can maybe surprise Bayern Monaco?
Could surprise them for maybe the first 20 seconds when they're walking into the pitch. But then it's gonna be no. I mean, Bayern Monaco is just like, at this point, with back-to-back years of supremacy at this point, it has become like a...
They're gonna win it. They're gonna win it all.
They have become just such a good ecosystem at this point. It's not even like anymore a team; it's an ecosystem. That like they just keep going back, having the same result, win the league. I honestly think
when they play with 12 men on the field. like they did,
like
like they did
Rabiot.
this
Yeah,
with
like nah, I think.
with the Coman.
Oh, we come. Didn't get that joke.
No,
Bayern
it doesn't watch the Bundesliga.
No, yeah,
It's only Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. We sometimes we speak bad about Serie A, but Bundesliga, guys, there is just two
Here we
teams.
have a comment
Very-
from Simon Pietro that Villarreal can put the bus in
I
front of
agree.
the goal,
They can
and they
put the
will still
stadium.
not.
They can put their stadium in front of the goal. I don't think. Nah, it's gonna pass. And then
I wanna know.
I
I wanna know
honestly,
what people think.
huh?
I wanna know what people think.
People
No,
very quiet.
my
People very
no,
quiet
no.
today.
I'm still celebrating Bologna's
Ah.
game. No, my
Rip
favorite
Luca.
matchup it would be Real Madrid, Chelsea. You know, the big teams. I think I think Liverpool and Bayern Monaco got a easy matchup. I mean, it's a Champions League, but you know, I feel like
But do you
easy
think?
compared to the other ones.
Do you think Benfica? I mean, Benfica eliminated Ajax, which finished
Yeah,
the.
but it's
Yeah, but
Liverpool.
the last match with Ajax, he was like I never see something like that. They should just one time. It was worse than the Italian Macedon. It was
Well,
like
we watched very similar matches these last 3 weeks with Italy,
Yeah.
Macedonia, Inter, Juve, and Ajax against Benfica. Here
The
is
thing
the connections. People, before I let you finish, look, who
Yeah.
wins Benfica Liverpool will face off against Villarreal
Wow.
or Bayern, and then the winner of Manchester City Atletico will face off against Chelsea or Real Madrid. So we could have a Madrid derby in the semifinals if the two sides from Spain
mean,
go through.
most
honestly-
interesting for me.
Are two fine. Like at this point, like Liverpool, Bayern Monaco, and either or between the one on the right side, it's gonna be like two finals at this
I
point.
think
It's not
Bayern
semifinals.
It's gonna be
Bayern is
amazing.
gonna win against Liverpool.
I mean, Liverpool has a big game this weekend against Manchester City for the title. So I don't know
Good
who they're
point.
gonna play tomorrow. I don't know who they're gonna play tomorrow. I don't know if they're gonna play their starter. But you know, I feel like they're still gonna. They're one of my favorite, Liverpool. And I think between Real Madrid and
Here we have
That is right. That is right.
Bologna hate on the bottom. Why are you asking people about Champions League when he doesn't even know what the Conference League is?
I
From
agree with
Simon.
Simon Pietro.
because I played it in my past. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah, we have people as an ex-player, even Fred. They play professionally in the 5th division of American soccer indoor.
But they have big contracts, eh? They're professionals.
By the way.
But no, Real Madrid and Liverpool are my favorites for the Champions League.
For
Ooh,
me,
so a rematch.
I want to see the semi-final between Atletico and Real Madrid. That for me is the most interesting. I mean, I believe that Simeone can beat Manchester City. I think it's one of the maybe the only one that can beat in a quarterfinal like that. You know, with his strategy, you know, Guardiola gonna suffer something like that. You know, also the final that of last year, Chelsea. You know, Guardiola he
They
didn't
played
do
Catenaccio.
yeah, with the Catenaccio. I mean, we are a supporter of the Catenaccio, no?
Yeah.
So that's the reason our show is called the Catenaccio Show, you know?
No, but remember I believe last year, 2 years ago, I guess during COVID, Atletico Madrid won against Liverpool. They passed it, and they didn't play that good. They just played the way Simeone plays, which is Catenaccio, part of
With Morata scoring in
And
Anfield.
also, when it was years ago, Fred, Simeone won also in the quarterfinal against Bayern Munich. I mean, we already saw that Simeone can do that. So they beat Bayern Munich, they beat Liverpool. They can do it. For me, they can beat Manchester City.
What about Roma?
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great because the matchups we saw them. There's gonna be no bad semifinals, no matter what happens. They're all big teams, and it's truly gonna be very interesting. Disappointing that there are no Serie A sides in it, and I mean the level has declined, but hopefully it will change soon. before we go,
but we
a
have,
reminder:
we
follow
have
us
Atalanta and Roma.
on Insta. Yeah, but that is not the Champions League, people.
I mean, still. I mean,
Yeah.
For people, Europa League and Conference is a lot when you go for Bologna.
It's like
A
for
reminder
Inter,
to follow
never won
us
it.
on Instagram, the Catenaccio Show. Make sure to connect with us. We will have plenty of more this week, and we will have our Italian show on a Thursday. Make sure do not miss any of it, and you can catch them on YouTube as well. Thank you guys so much, Lodovico, Fred, Filippo, and Luca. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you, guys.
Click on the link.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.